What's going on, guys? I'm Commander RestlessCorpse, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. This is episode 49, I believe. I forget every single time I do this, which is why most of the time I don't even bring that up. But does it look like there's somebody else in my lower? No. All right, cool. Anyway, we're a couple jumps away from the system that we stopped in last time, and I just wanted to make sure that I got my intro selfie done. But we are heading straight for the core, ladies and gentlemen. We're going straight there, and I'm just plotting courses between, just anything really, but a couple hundred light years each way, and then I'll plot a new course, because I think in this particular stretch there isn't a whole lot to look at. So I'm just gonna get to it, but I just wanted to say, hello and thanks for watching this episode. Anyway, let's get to it. Holy shit. Some of you people are going crazy. And by that, I mean there are all kinds of crazy things on Reddit today about this game. Most notably, a contract on each other's lives. Those are flying around all over the place. There are assassination targets. People claiming that they can give you millions of credits for proof of killing certain people, and then those people are putting contracts out, like counter contracts out on each other, and it's getting ridiculous. I saw one. One was like 100 million for Robin something or other, Commander Robin something or other. I don't remember the actual name. And then another extra 100 million if you can do, if you put it on YouTube or something like that. And it's because Robin Night Sky, I believe. And that's because this Commander Robin put out a 1 million per kill contract on a certain group. That's some Brazilian group. I don't even know how to say their name. I believe it's like the initials are GDA. You guys are going crazy. Absolute crazy. I know I think there's contracts out on all the Smiling Dog Crew guys. One guy put up like an actually amusing contract list where he would like make up offenses and like little info blurbs about each person. That was kind of funny. This place is going crazy, guys. And it's like I'm laughing my ass off about it, and I kind of wish that I could participate in this because it'd be nice, I guess, to get some of those credits. But it would also be cool to like jump in with one of these groups and get some quality PvP going. But it's like, how do you? I mean, I guess they're saying what they'll do is, in order to fulfill the contract, they'll buy a whole bunch of commodities and drop them, and you pick them back up and you go sell them and you get your money. I wish there was an easier way to do that, but coming from a strong MMO background like I do, I know that if Frontier ever allows us to trade things or to sell things or to trade, to give each other money or something like that, that's when the gold sellers come up. And that's actually one of the things that I like the most about the model that they've got going on here, is that there's absolutely no need for that. Because look, I played WoW for a little bit. I played Final Fantasy 11 back in the day. I play Final Fantasy 14 pretty regularly now, and I know that the gold sellers are ridiculously annoying. So I'm super glad that they have no reason to come here, because there's no money to be made. You cannot trade each other credits. So there's no market for paying for credits with real money. I'm really glad that that is not a thing. But to get back to the topic, it's funny to see everybody getting all up in arms about this kind of stuff and putting contracts on each other. And I actually don't see anything bad about it. As a matter of fact, I think it'll help kind of, in its weird roundabout way, pull the community together. Because you're always going to have people who want to band together to take down some of these high contracts, and you're going to have people banding together to defend against those contracts, which I guess, to be honest, that's already been done, because all these contracts are against people that are in these groups to begin with. But it's really cool to see it, even if maybe it's all a joke, or maybe, you know, nothing is ever going to come of it because these targets are going to be too well defended, or someone brought up that they could just hang out in the open until, or solo until it all blows over. I really don't see the targets of these contracts doing that, because they're PvPers and they relish the PvP and they welcome it. But it's I don't know, it's amazing to me. It's such a player driven, you know, this is what we need. A player driven sense of like consequence for things that you do. If you're in a group that constantly preys on the weak and the noobs and you know, or anything like that, there's always going to be a counter group that rises up to try and protect them, all in the name of PvP. Like if PvP in this game wasn't fun, I don't think that anyone would do it. So obviously Elite Dangerous is doing that right. PvP is fun in this game and people enjoy doing it. So, you know, that's where your pirates and your I guess, for lack of a better word, murderers come out, because it's fun. Maybe I am a little bit more naive than the rest of the world or the rest of the player base here, but I believe that people who interdict like other people and kill them, they're not doing it out of any kind of malicious intent. I don't think it's personal. Sometimes it gets personal maybe, but they're just trying, you know, PvP is fun for them, and it's actually kind of difficult to find PvP in a game this big. I've been playing, you know, like I always say, over 300 hours. I've seen maybe 4 other players in this game total. Now, I will be honest and say that I have not been hanging out in some of the really densely populated areas like Eravit and, you know, LHS 3447. I didn't start there because I chose the Horizon start, which is on Baker's Prospect. I don't even remember what system that was called. It was a 2-word system, and it was actually words, not just, you know, Callstein. But I don't really see a whole lot of other players on a day-to-day basis, especially now that I'm out here exploring. I'm probably not going to see anybody for a really long time. But even when I did, so that kind of, it just proves the point that if the only way you get fun out of this game is PvP, your only real option for constant PvP is CQC. Now, the next best thing for someone who is just purely PvE driven is to go to one of the starting systems or the densely populated systems and just interdict people and kill them. And that's where it comes into like people killing newbies. And I completely do not condone that, because the worst thing that you can do for a new player is instantly, you know, kill them before they know what the hell is going on, because that's just going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. They're going to think, wow, this game is just full of assholes, and they're not going to want to stay. And nobody wants to see that. You want to see more people playing a game that you love, because the more people that play it, the more attention it gets, the more love it's going to be given from the developers. At least that's my opinion. So while I don't condone, and I know that it might sound like I am, oh, I'm in my system. While I don't condone the wanton destruction and mass killing of newbies, look, if PvP is your bag, that's what you want to do, you got to find it somewhere. And if nobody is willing to PvP, but the game gives you a system to force people to PvP, then that's what you're going to do. And that's just the sad truth of it. So, and I also hear that there's really difficult, like, it's really difficult to get a large number of people into an instance. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't play the game, each of these systems is an instance. Let's see, how far away are you? 193. We can go a little bit further than that. All right. Each of these systems is an instance, and it's sometimes tough to get a certain amount of people. Like if there's a big event that you want to do, and you want to get a lot of people together to do it, it's sometimes difficult to get all of the people into an instance. So that's why when you're flying around, you know, solo, you may only see 1 or 2 people in a few hours. It's because of instancing. At least that's the way I understand it. So once again, back to the original point, if all you want to do in this game is PvP, it could take hours for you to find somebody that is willing to actually PvP you. So you've got to take it. If you see someone, you got to be like, it's go time, and interdict that person and get your PvP. Unfortunately, a lot of time, excuse me, yeah, the hiccups. A lot of times, that is going to be a newbie. Unfortunately. So, I mean, it's going back to the absolute original point. It's really cool to see groups standing up to some of these other groups that are indiscriminate on who they kill. So, I mean, there's a lot of talk of of hitman contracts, people asking for the head of a certain commander or proof that that commander is dead, and I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's a cool thing, and I think it will actually help the community to see these groups getting together and being vocal and doing things. Because it starts like a friendly competition, I mean, it could turn unfriendly, but so far, from what I've seen, it's pretty friendly. And that also allows people who don't want to get into PvP to stay out of it. If you don't want to be in PvP, don't go after the targets. Keep doing your thing. Yes, you still might be interdicted by the targets because they're targets for a reason. But for the most part, they're going to have their hands full with people who are actually trying to kill them and claim these rewards. So I think it's a good time for people who don't want a PvP to get back into open and play open for a while. I don't know. I may just be talking out of my ass. Who knows? Let's check the system out and see if there's anything fun in it, because there's 38 new astronomical objects. Could be. And there isn't. How close are you? You are too far. Alright, we're going to keep moving on. Because we've got 12 jumps. 12 jumps. So, come on. I don't know why it starts me in the middle sometimes like that. Where are you? Alright. But that just, it comes back to me, I can't wait until I get back to the bubble and I can actually join in stuff like this. But it's going to be a while, and I'm not going to rush it just because of that. So, who knows how long it's going to be. Anyway, I'll get back to you guys if we find something fun. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are one jump away from the destination. And I've actually decided that I'm gonna start using the galaxy map a little bit differently than I have been recently. What I've got so far is all the stuff that I'm looking for, like the non-sequence stars, which are the neutron stars and the black holes, and then I've got O's and A's, I think. And those are the only things that I'm looking for on the galaxy map. So I'm plotting courses between all of that stuff. But I got to kind of thinking, and I looked up, what people thought were the best way to find Earth lakes, and considering like an Earth lake, oh, these are cool looking. Has anybody been here? No. Considering Earth lakes kind of take a certain, I guess, temperature, maybe? I don't know. I don't really know how that works, but I'm going to start filtering it for different types of stars and jumping to those to see if I can find something. There's a lot of cool looking gas giants here, so I'm gonna leave, and then a whole bunch of metal, but those are really far out, so I don't know. Because, like, again, remember, this could be 3,798 light seconds away, or 89 light seconds away that way, but then this, it's saying that it's 5,670 light seconds, but it could be all the way over here on this side, so that would, in essence, be more like 10,000 light seconds. So I'm not going to go for these that are way out there, even though they're probably metal rich, but I am going to grab these three, I think, and this one, obviously, because it's very close. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set G's, M's, and K's as my filters on the galaxy map and start choosing those as my targets to jump, and hopefully that'll increase the likelihood of finding more Earth likes. I know that they're super rare. I mean, people were saying that, in a 30,000 light year journey jumping to over 3,000 systems, they found maybe 4 or 5. So it's not like it's something that is just going to be showing up all over the place. But I would like to find more. And I'd really like to find the elusive two Earth-like planets in orbit around each other. That would be pretty cool. But I'm gonna let you go again for a second here while I get this scanned up, and then we're gonna go to the galaxy map and plot a new course. I know there's a neutron star relatively close to here, so I want to go hit that too. But after that, we'll take a look at the galaxy map, because putting those on the filters are going to give me a lot more jump targets anyway, so I don't have to make such long jumps within the course of the video, and there's a lot of downtime. Like the video at this point is what, 16 minutes? I've actually been playing for almost an hour, and kind of talking to Flame. Commander Flame has been keeping me company lately, which is cool. But I'm gonna get these three scanned up, and then we're gonna get out of here. So I'll see you then. All right, so let's see what we can find here. I'm going to add G, K, and M. And as you can see, that just really increases the amount. I mean, if we popped them all on here, it would be like ridiculous hard to see anything. And that's cool, but whatever. We're gonna, or maybe an F. I don't know. We're gonna leave it this way. And what I'm gonna be doing is, well, not that. I'm going to be using that as a way to find targets. And then what I'll do is I'll just, go, I don't know, a couple hundred light years out and just pick at random. What do we have here? That's a G, white, yellow. And this way I'll still be jumping into systems that I can scoop from almost exclusively. What are you? A G. So let's choose one of these. Let's choose this G. Why not? It caught my eye somehow. So that is the next course. It's only 7 jumps, so let's get there. And yeah, and there's Commander Flame. We're actually talking about yesterday's video, the whole private groups and policing them and stuff like that. And I kind of touched on this last time, but we were talking about how it's more on the other players. Well, first of all, Frontier needs to give private groups more options to police their groups. There's got to be ways to set, and I said this yesterday when I was talking about Arc, how there needs to be a way to set it so that you can't harm. If you want to play in a strictly PvP area, they should facilitate that by giving you settings so that you can't harm you can't harm other ships unless it's been agreed upon, like maybe it's a toggle thing. But they just need to give private group administrators more options and ways to police their private groups, or you're always going to have problems like the SDC invasion of the Mobius group. And we're also talking about what I actually talked about just a little bit ago in this video is how it's very important that if players don't like something a group is doing, such as the public outcry of the Smiling Dog crew and how they're preying on people and they're blockading things, like right now, as a matter of fact, they have claimed Robigo as a no-fly system, the entire system. You are not allowed in Robigo, according to them, or they will destroy you on sight. They won't even ask what you're doing. They're not even going to see if you're smuggling, because usually the blockades of Robigo are if they scan you and you have slaves in your hold, they'll destroy you or tell you to release them. But now it's gotten to the point where if you are in Robigo and they do not know who you are, they are going to interdict you and kill you. Now, obviously, that's going to bring other groups over to Robigo to try and rout them. But that's what we're talking about. If there's a public outcry about a group doing a certain action, such as the blockading of an entire system, and an important system at that, because that's where a lot of people make their money, then it's up to the players to rise up and, right that. right that wrong, I guess. I kind of hesitated to call it a wrong because it's not necessarily a wrong. I mean, you're free to do whatever you want in this game, but if people are expecting consequences, you absolutely need to take it upon yourself. These are really cool little planets with rings. And they're not that far out, but I want to get a little bit further on this line. So I'm going to move on. And I see that happening, like I said, with all the, people putting contracts out on each other or whole groups. And that makes me happy. I don't have an opinion either way on groups like the Smiling Dog or the 13th or Adlai's Armada, if I'm saying that correctly. As far as I know, Adlai's Armada and the 13th are groups that are there to combat player killer groups like the Smiling Dog crew. I think there's another one called Code. I don't know a whole lot about all of those, the player group politics and whatnot, because again, I'm kind of new to the community here. I've only been playing, I think this is episode 49, so almost 2 months. And for a majority of that, I've actually been out here in the void, staying away from everyone, doing my thing. But it creates kind of a, like I said earlier, a sense of community where people are banding together to rise up against other people who are banded together. And but what I was saying is I don't have an opinion on the groups either way. The Smiling Dog crew, they're doing their thing. I don't like that they're preying on newbies. But other than that, do what you got to do. If you're creating fun for yourself in this game. And I would like to think that the majority of the people that they are tussling with all the time probably are enjoying it. It's friendly competition and whatnot. But I know that there are some people that don't enjoy it. So I can't really throw my support in with the SDC, knowing that they do that kind of thing. But I also can't really throw my support in with a group that is solely to combat groups like that. And not because I think they're doing anything wrong, but because I'm not sure if I think the other group is totally in the wrong either. If there was a group that was only destroying newbies and, following people around and killing them multiple times, or, waiting outside a station so that they can continue to kill someone over and over and over and over, that's my opinion, or that's my definition of griefing. And yes, I would totally throw my hat in with a group that is there to combat that, because dying in this game has such a severe consequence. I mean, it's not. You can argue that games like DayZ or Ark kind of have a worse consequence, being that when you die, you lose everything and you essentially start over. Ark not as much, because you gain levels in that game and experience, and when you die, you retain all that, but you lose everything that you have accumulated, all the gear and all that stuff. And in DayZ, you don't gain levels or anything in that game, so when you die and you lose everything, you are essentially starting over. Now, it's not that bad in Elite, but it is pretty bad. You could grind for months for a particular ship, for the money for the ship, to outfit it and all that stuff, and you can lose it very easily if you do not have the money to pay your insurance rebuy. Then you're essentially starting over. I mean, you'll still have all your rank that you've grinded and your reputation and stuff like that, but you'll essentially be starting over. So it's a fine line. Like, I want to say, quit whining, you got killed, that's part of the game, but I also want to say, man, that sucks, because now you have to do all that work again. Albeit it'll be easier this time. You just lost a lot of work. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I would hate for that to happen to me. But also, I don't think that I would get super upset. Like, let's say somebody killed me and I didn't have enough for the rebuy on my clipper. And I would end up starting back at Baker's Prospect with a Sidewinder. Yeah, sure, I'd be upset. I'd probably cuss a little bit, be a little bit mad at the person who killed me. But I can't really hold it against them. They're just playing the game, you know? And I was playing the game too, and, you know, because I didn't run the hell away from them, I took a risk. Or if I just couldn't get away, the risk was going into a system knowing that people are there. So, I don't know. It's a fine line, but it's a game, guys. You know, in every game, there's a winner and a loser. You can't win every game, and there has to be consequences for dying. I think that elites are a little steep in that. Yes, there's the Elite Dangerous Rule 1, never fly what you can't rebuy. Yeah, I get that. And that's true, and that's a very good rule. But when it takes hours, you know, like let's say you grind for a really long time and you buy your ship. Like, it took me a while to get my clipper. I was smart in that I didn't go out to buy the clipper until I had enough for the clipper, all of the modules I wanted, and a rebuy. But the point is, like, if it takes you a really, really long time to grind for a ship, it sucks that it also takes you a couple more hours to grind enough for the rebuy. And sometimes people just want to buy their ship and go out there and play. And then you've got, you know, people that will destroy you and ruin it. You know, one of the things that I think would curb that a little bit and make people not so mad that they died is if the insurance cost for dying was lessened if you were killed by another player. I mean, maybe that's a thing. Who knows? Well, I know it's not a thing, but maybe it could be a thing. Who knows? I think that there needs to be a little bit more stricter consequences in game for people that continually kill other commanders as well, unless it's in an anarchy system, I guess. But it's too lax right now, I think. Like, if let's say that I am the guy killing people. I go to a newbie system, I kill a newbie. Generally, they're going to be not in a lawless system. So let's say I go and I kill a newbie. I get like a 6,000 credit bounty or something. That's not that bad. And it's only in that system. So I think that it would make more sense if your bounty for killing another player were higher. Like, if it was just on a much larger, like, magnitude, I guess. And your bounty was throughout the bubble. Like, in any non-anarchy system, you would have a bounty. Because as it stands, you can go into a system, you can kill a whole bunch of noobs. Am I in my system? Oh. Well, all right. As it stands right now, like I was saying, you can go into a system, you can kill a bunch of noobs, rack up a decent, sizable bounty, I guess, and then just jump one system away and you're fine, you know? So, a little bit stricter consequences in-game for people that do that, because that would also create more of a thrill for people that are actually doing the killing as well, because now, not only do they have to weigh the consequence, like, of, do I kill this guy, get a game-wide bounty, and have to deal with that for 7 days or whatever, and, you know, and that's completely viable. You can play like that. You can be the outlaw, you know? But I don't know. Something to think about for the devs, I guess. I know the devs aren't watching this video or anything, but it's something to think about. A little bit stricter consequences. And I think people always say, and I'm just flying in space right now. As a matter of fact, hold on. Anyway, yeah, so people are always saying that Frontier is looking into ways to combat it and stuff like that. And I'm not going to say, oh man, it's so easy, just do this and this and this, because look, game dev is a little bit different than a lot. People are always, oh, it'd be so easy to implement this. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe implementing that will break something else. But I do agree that there needs to be something else. There needs to be something a little bit more strict in player versus player stuff. Now, I think also that there should be absolutely no consequences in game to killing someone in an anarchy system. I thought that that's the whole point of them. You know, there needs to be something that deters PvP, or at least unwanted PvP, in controlled systems. You know, if there's a government there, if there are laws there, those need to be enforced, so that it would turn into a cool dynamic for me anyway. I need to complete this mission, and to complete this mission, I have to go to an anarchy system. Well, now it's time to weigh the pros and cons of that. Do I care enough about this mission to go into a system where there are probably people there waiting to kill me? Or do I just say, fuck it, abandon the mission and go do something else? I think that's the way it should work. And if you jump into an anarchy system, it's your own fault, you know? And what that would do, in my opinion, is keep more people playing open, because if what we want, what everybody should want, is people all playing in open. We want that player interaction. We want to see other commanders flying around. We want to interact with other players. That's the reason for an online game. And I think that most of these people that only play solo or only play in private groups, I think that they would have no reason not to play open if they had safe areas of space. And I'm not saying I want the game to be completely safe. I want it to be more realistic. I want there to be a more calm sense of, like, I guess safety, but I get maybe security in a system with security. And then I want there to be ball clenching, or like, you know, just fear of going into anarchy systems. I think that would add a really cool dynamic to the game. But anyway, I am out of time for this video, guys. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more videos of Elite Dangerous or any of the other videos that I've done, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to say, throw it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions on all of this. Remember, I am Commander RestlessCorpse. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Eject. 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 Eject.